Hey, how's it going, everybody? Gabriel here. All right, this is the Speaking of Harmony podcast, and this is the episode 5. Wow, already 5, huh? Very nice. So thank you so much for the feedback, all the comments and the words. I really appreciate, and keep them coming. It's great to have feedback. And speaking of feedback, a couple episodes ago, I just did a horrible job with my camera, so the mic was so in picture. And some people caught my attention to that, so thank you very much for that. I think it's fixed now, so you can see my hands and all that. And some people also complain about the right hand, so I think you can see both now. I assume and I hope. If I don't, please leave a comment below, and I will try to fix it even more. It's kind of a very primitive setup over here, but I'm doing the best I can right now. Thank you so much. So. Before we go into the subject of today's podcast, I guess, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And you guys comment and feedback. So subscribe to the channel, activate the little bell thing, the notification. If you want to follow me on all the social media, this is all my social media stuff over here. And I really appreciate all the feedback. Well, I was playing a beautiful tune by Jobim. Called Jinji, right? Which is fairly known here in the US as well and around the world, I guess. And there is this little harmonic thing that happens that I was like, well, I gotta mention that because this is some other trick, some other sort of a harmonic movement that happens a lot, especially in Brazilian music, and it's so easy to apply, but it's very cool and effective. And I wish to share that with you guys. So this is what I would call is an altered subdominant, right? What is that? You see. So you take a tune like that, Jinji, right? So we go into the subdominant here, right? Degree A, and then we land here on the 4th degree, the subdominant, right? So what that is, it's a harmonic movement that happens, and I see that as an altered subdominant. What is that? So you alter the root of the chord, right? It's the sharp one altering, and some people might inquire like, oh, this isn't such a thing. Well, there is right here. You're altering the subdominant by its root. So then if you move the root of the subdominant a half step up, you're gonna find a half diminished chord instead of the major 7 chord of the subdominant. Watch out. So you'll do right? That's the expected subdominant, right? D major. How about if I alter the root of the chord? See what happens. See how cool that sound is? And then this is just like, it's in so many songs. There's like a lot of applications for that. Not only on the subdominant, but you can apply in different parts of the tonality. But it occurs a lot in the subdominant area when you alter those. There's so many songs and so many Jobim songs that have that. It's such a powerful tool and gives a little bend, if you will, the harmony. And then usually people resolve in different ways, right? I did resolve into actually the minor subdominant, which is the D minor. I did D minor 6 here, so you right? Voice leading, right? Always. So you would call this D sharp half diminished, right? And then D minor 6, in this case A over C sharp, right? So many applications here, man. Like, such a beautiful song. And there's so many songs, some popular songs that either already have that or can actually have that apply to, that we can't take it for granted. It's such a beautiful passage and such a movement, and just allows to so many things, right? So Jinji, speaking of Jinji, that's a curious song. Sometimes I got to play this song here in the US on gigs, right, in jazz gigs, and people, let's play, because I'm Brazilian, so everybody want to play Brazilian music with me, and they say, well, let's play Jinji. It's like, okay, man, let's play it. And then weirdly, they start by this. It's like, well, where the hell is the beginning of the song? It's like everybody, like a bunch of people I play with, they don't know that this song has an intro, there's a beginning. So this is actually, I think, the bridge, I would call the B section or whatever. That's not the A, right? The beginning of the song is actually... Right? So that's the actual beginning of the song. So the song doesn't start here. It doesn't start here, folks. It starts here. The lyrics and stuff. It's beautiful. So if you didn't know that, please check the original version, the Antonio Carlos Jobim version of him playing this stuff. It's just like I guess it's like the real book thing. Some recordings, by saxophonists or some jazz artists, they kind of become very, very important and kind of becomes somehow the standard. So when musicians get to play songs, they get the transcriptions of those versions. Real book has a lot of these songs. They are versions from recordings of somebody. There's not the actual composer, and sometimes you miss a lot of stuff, right? There is so many examples on songs that happens. I'll talk a little bit about that too here today. But so this song, there's so many cool things to do here besides that altered subdominants, right? I'll get to that, but you see that. But there's so many things I do on this song, some relative minor stuff, because I love minor sounds, so I like the contrast also. If there's a lot of major, sometimes I contrast with minor. It's like on this part, for instance. So everybody expects that, right? See how I'm going to do it the second time. Everything again, huh? Right? So it's so much you can do here, right? On this song. And here's the altered subdominant. Don't forget that. Just sharp one. You alter the root up, and that becomes the half diminished sound. Then you can replace this into this, right? So many songs have that, man. Like meditation, right? Altered subdominant again, right? We're in G, and then we're supposed to go to, right, C major. So instead of that, I altered the root and just went to C sharp half diminished. So another subdominant. There's altered here, but this one is famous, classically famous, right? The famous Neapolitan chord, everybody. You probably heard about that on your harmony classes in college, but don't forget, it's a super cool chord. So this is the lowered second, right? So G major is the tonic, right? The 1. Second degree is A minor, right? So you alter the root. This time you lower the root. There you have it. The Neapolitan chord is one of the augmented 6 chords, but this one is a subdominant. Also a very cool sound. And then if you put all the, all the jewelry on top, tension and all the stuff, you can do this kind of movement, right? It's a little movement. So much to talk about on this song, but you see the which is most important today is the altered subdominant, like the sharp 1 4th degree altered up, right? You hear Neapolitan. See? Lowered second degree over here. Lowered the root. So another alteration of the root. In this case, also subdominant. So altered subdominant. We're so used to like altered. If you're in G, altering the dominant, right? That's the most altered chord that you can use. You can put all kinds of alteration, but the tip of today is that you can alter the subdominant as well. But these movements you do on the root, you alter it sometimes up, sometimes down. You kind of create all these different colors, and it's just so cool and so effective. Lots of great sounds. I mean, this has been done for 500 years or whatever, maybe less, but a long time ago. Another one that speaks to my mind is also a very famous one from Jobim, Triste, right? They also have a lot of places to put that. I'll play a little bit. All the time too. Is the 1 chord, the tonic chord, but I just do what they call appoggiatura, right? Like a note that is attacked on the downbeat and then resolve into a note of the chord. In this case, the entire chord is the appoggiatura chord, right? So I'm just using a diminished A chord, right? So A diminished with the major 7th as a tension and resolve back into the tonic, right? So just something cool that you can land on and then create the tension and resolve, right? On this case, I extend that as long as I can until the 2nd chord. So I actually don't get to play the A major, right? So I do I also do that sus and then resolve into the 3rd, right? So expect you to go here, right? To the subdominant, D major. Then here you go, altering the root up, you get the D sharp half diminished. See how it sounds. Just so beautiful, man. Attention, people. That chord is a C diminished. Go check out the Antonio Carlos Jobim version. It's a C diminished. Don't play this other crap I see people playing. Herbie thing, eh? Herbie thing became a thing now. Herbie thing, right? You see how effective this stuff is? There's this grace note chromatic stuff that Herbie does. I mean, I use this all the time. And see, I'm playing as like goddamn samba, and samba it just sounds cool, man. I don't know why. I got a surprise for you. So at this second time I play this song, there's this super alternate progression I do here, and I learned that from friends of mine from São Paulo. They play this way. I was like, woo, that's super cool, man. And some of them told me that Herbie does something like that too. So check that out. He said I was doing right, A major, A minor, and then you go to E minor, and then A7, and then the subdiminished, the half diminished, sorry, the altered subdominant, right? Subdiminished, right? I mix it up, subdominant with half diminished. Subdiminished, I create a new chord. Subdiminished, what the hell, man? Subdominant, altered subdominant that gives you a altered subdominant, which becomes, the chord becomes a half diminished chord. God damn it, man. Okay, I let it out. So you have A major, like, you know, default, like E minor, you know, E minor 7, A7, and then goes on. But instead of playing that, how about this alternate progression? That's super hip, man. Every time I play Trishi, I play it this way second time. You know, buddies and musicians play with me, they already know there's changes. And I learned that from my buddies in São Paulo. They play like this, so cool, man. It's also very herbish too. So I'll play again. Here you go. Our chord of today again. We see how hip is this progression, man? So instead of going here, you arrive at this E minor through all these alternate routes. It's just so cool. So you go A flat altered, right? So A flat dominant with like sharp 9 and flat 13 or whatever, right? So we get this G sus, right? G13 with everything on top, right? It's like that, you know, that dish that would just pile everything on top, whatever sauce you want, right? So we just pile everything up here as long as it's a sus chord, right? G13 sus 4. Then you have F sharp minor with everything you want, you know, 9, 11th or whatever, right? And then the melody just land so well with this chord, right? By the way, the relative, right? And then you arrive at the E minor, right? So you do there's so many ways you can analyze this, we can stay here for hours, but today I just want to care about showing this sound, but most important how we land into that altered subdominant, right? But I just want to like give you a hint of this this changes because they're so hip, man, keep missing this, huh? It's here. It's a 13 sharp 9, right? Right? Chord again, right? I do a cool thing here too when I'm playing these changes. Voice leading again, the bass is really well led, right, voice wise, and I do this sort of like this inner movement within the voices that is cool along with the melody, especially if I'm accompanying someone like a singer or something, because I play this song in so many different, like so many outlets. Like I play solo, I play with my band, I play with like 3 different singers all in different keys, and I try to kind of insert little things here and there, right? But on this case I do see this cool voicing I do here. So I do this is the middle voice that I am like enhancing at that point, right? I'm doing so I do see, again, man, it's all connected, right? Voice leading, like color, I'm like going through inserting color by doing these half steps in the melody and resolving, creating this subdued, like this commentary almost melody on top of the melody that's being played, right? So there's so many things you can deal with in harmony and create movement. Again, I talk about this all the time. Harmony for me is horizontal. It has to be lines, man. You gotta think it like this, because then you can see where the voices are going, and then how you want the voices to behave and where you want them to go. Ideally, you wanna lead the voices to where they wanna go, right? So, altered subdominant, man. So many places to play this stuff, right? You see here. Alright, people, C diminished, please, C diminished. So much to do here with altered subdominants, man. I think we got a good amount of information with this. Let me know why do you use that stuff, But I'm sure you do use it, but have you realized what that actually is? What actually is doing in the harmony? There's so much you can do to stuff. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention that I just came up with. I just remembered. This sort of movement of the altered subdominant, right? The half diminished chord that is generated, and then resolve into -6 and stuff. It's so common in samba. By the way, for those who are curious, there's so many I mean, so many samba songs that have that kind of movement that, you know, I filmed a video years ago talking about that specifically, specific cadence, and I even I dare to call it the samba cadence, right? Don't listen to me in this case, like I just named something, just label for the sake of the argument I was making. But I call it samba cadence, and this is the altered subdominant resolving into a minor, fourth degree minor, and then goes on, right? So you have so many songs. A famous samba, estamos aí, almost like a bossa nova instead of a samba, but we can play a samba too. João Bosco, the great João Bosco, he has so many sambas that have that cadence, you know. Baden Powell, Vinicius de Moraes, they have so much of that stuff too, you know. Sorry, mess it up, but you got the point, right? Same deal, man, same deal. Altered subdominant, subdominant minor, right? And then it goes 1 and 5, 6 and all that stuff, 1, 6, 2, 1, whatever, right? You can change things over there. But this this chord is so present in so much, you know, in so many events and so many songs in Brazilian music. I'm sure, you know, jazz, we can find so many jazz standards that already have that, or also you can insert that if you have this, you know, subdominant thing going. So much to do here, man. I think it's enough for today in terms of, I already have enough to work on. So I hope you enjoy. Hope you get all this sharp one, half diminished subdominant, you know, altered subdominant going. Let me know in the comments if, you know, how you use these chords. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. I'm sure, you know, a bunch of you already used it all the time. And if you thought of that, of how, also if you have another way to explain the chord or analyze it, I'm always curious to hear how people think of things, you know, what's their process, you know, what they're thinking of. This is the way I think about it. But, you know, if you have an alternate explanation or another way you see it, you know, please leave in the comments, man. I would love to hear your opinions, and the ladies as well. So, you know, subscribe to the channel, man. It really helps. I'm really enjoying doing this podcast. And, you know, the links are here in the beginning. I'll put them again. You know, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and all that stuff, you know. And I'll see you on the next one.